Whitney, I knew, despite her success and worldwide fame, still wondered, am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? Will they like me? Whitney, if you could hear me now, I would tell you, you weren't just good enough. You were great. You weren't just pretty. You were as beautiful as a woman could be. And people didn't just like you, Whitney. They loved you.
Do you remember Whitney Houston, the queen of timeless love songs, whose voice once captivated the entire world? And did you know that Whitney, an icon of vitality and boundless talent, ended her journey under tragic circumstances that left fans worldwide stunned and heartbroken? From the radiant moments on stage to the pressures of life behind the scenes, Whitney Houston's life was a tapestry of glory and shadows, of success interwoven with deep loneliness. The glow of fame brought her everything, yet it also took so much away. If you love her voice and are interested in understanding what happened to her, please comment, "Yes, love Whitney Houston," and subscribe to our channel. Let's revisit her life together to appreciate the price she paid for fame and the inspiring musical legacy Whitney left behind for the world. Early life and career beginnings. Whitney Elizabeth Houston was born on August 9, 1963, in Newark, New Jersey, into a family steeped in music and faith. She was the daughter of John Russell Houston, Jr., a former serviceman and entertainment executive, and Cissy Houston, a talented gospel singer who had performed with Aretha Franklin. Her aunt was none other than the famous singer Dionne Warwick. Growing up surrounded by church music and raised by a family with a strong musical heritage, Whitney developed a deep passion and natural talent for music. Her family was not only her foundation, but also a great source of inspiration. Her aunt, Dionne Warwick, was a celebrated R&B singer, and her mother constantly nurtured Whitney's love for singing from an early age. Whitney was the youngest of 3 children, with 2 older brothers, Gary and Michael. Although she grew up in an artistically rich environment, her childhood wasn't entirely smooth. At age 11, the Newark riots of 1967 forced her family to relocate to East Orange, New Jersey, after their home was burned down. This event left a lasting impact on Whitney, helping her understand the challenges faced by African Americans and strengthening her resolve to succeed. Whitney's remarkable talent was evident from a young age, and her mother, Cissy Houston, supported her in nurturing her voice. By the age of 11, Whitney was singing in the choir at New Hope Baptist Church, where her powerful voice captivated the local community. This strict yet spiritual environment played a key role in shaping young Whitney, giving her inner strength and defining the emotional depth of her performance style. As a teenager, Whitney had the opportunity to sing background vocals for artists like Chaka Khan and Lou Rawls, thanks to her talent and her mother's guidance. However, the most pivotal moment came in 1983 when renowned producer Clive Davis happened to hear Whitney sing at a club in New York. Immediately struck by her powerful, soulful voice, he signed her with Arista Records, paving the way for the legendary career of one of the world's greatest vocal talents. Notable achievements and awards. With her powerful and soulful voice, Whitney Houston quickly made an unforgettable mark in the history of global music. Success came swiftly with her debut album Whitney Houston in 1985, featuring timeless hits like Saving All My Love for You and Greatest Love of All. Whitney's exceptional talent was undeniable as the album topped the Billboard Top 200 chart for 14 consecutive weeks, even surpassing music legends like Michael Jackson, making her an international sensation right from the start. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Whitney became a prominent face of the new music wave on MTV, opening doors for African-American artists to appear more frequently on international television. Her music video for How Will I Know not only climbed the charts, but also helped break racial barriers in the music industry. This paved the way for her The Greatest Love Tour to become a global phenomenon, cementing Whitney's status as a shining star of her time. The pinnacle of Whitney's career was her iconic hit, I Will Always Love You, from the Bodyguard soundtrack in 1992. This song held the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100 for 14 consecutive weeks and became one of the most famous love songs of all time. The Bodyguard soundtrack won 3 Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year, elevating Whitney to new heights and launching a successful phase in her acting career. The success of albums like Whitney and I'm Your Baby Tonight, along with several blockbuster soundtracks, made Whitney one of the highest-selling female artists in music history, with a vast collection of awards. By the end of her career, she had won over 400 major awards, including Grammy, Emmy, and American Music Awards, securing her a place in the Guinness World Records as the most awarded female artist of all time. Whitney was not only a music icon, but also paved the way for future generations of artists like Mariah Carey, Beyoncé, and Alicia Keys, inspiring them with her journey through challenges and relentless drive. She left behind a monumental musical legacy, including timeless songs and a spirit of resilience that helped elevate R&B and pop music and brought African-American music closer to audiences worldwide. Personal tragedy and marriage. Whitney Houston's rapid, brilliant success turned her from a gifted singer into a global pop icon. However, that fame also cast a shadow over her life, immersing her in a world where everything, her words, gestures, even her smile, was meticulously managed. Major record labels, once celebrating Whitney as a pop princess, soon began imposing the ideal image of a star upon her. They expected her not only to sing well, but also to embody a flawless persona, dressed like royalty, speaking measuredly, and behaving with poise. What the public saw was an image carefully crafted, a dazzling but distant version of the real Whitney. Initially, Whitney tried to adapt, as this transformation brought overwhelming success. But over time, she felt like a puppet, controlled and manipulated. She was no longer the lively, rebellious girl from Newark or the passionate young woman who sang her heart out at New Hope Baptist Church. Instead, she became a product of the entertainment machine, where every song, every photo, every word was meticulously polished, losing touch with her true self. Living in this fame-fueled cage, Whitney began to feel trapped. In public, she always appeared with a radiant smile, bright eyes, and confident demeanor. But in reality, she faced inner conflicts, loneliness, and relentless demands. In 1989, having secured a prominent place in the entertainment world, Whitney Houston first met Bobby Brown at the Soul Train Music Awards. It was a defining moment when they noticed each other amid the stage lights and the gaze of thousands. Whitney, with her graceful beauty and angelic voice, encountered Bobby, a man with a defiant, rebellious spirit. They were polar opposites, yet there was an undeniable attraction. Whitney was struck by Bobby's humor, bluntness, and natural charm, qualities that were worlds apart from the refined images she was accustomed to in the industry. Their relationship quickly became a media sensation. The romance between the pop princess and the bad boy intrigued and stirred public debate. Fans and onlookers admired them but also questioned, why would someone like Whitney choose Bobby, a man with a scandalous past? But for Whitney, Bobby offered her a sense of freedom, a place where she could be herself without the pressures of maintaining a perfect star image. For Bobby, Whitney was a gentle, refined soul he could rely on, a feeling he had rarely experienced. After 3 tumultuous years of dating, Whitney and Bobby married in 1992. Their extravagant wedding became a major event in the entertainment world, but behind the smiles and glamour were early signs of trouble. Whitney soon realized that married life with Bobby wasn't a fairy tale. Bobby's rebellious nature and endless partying often led to legal troubles, and serious problems began to emerge in their marriage. Tensions arose as Bobby felt overshadowed by Whitney's fame, leading to jealousy and resentment. Small arguments turned into major fights, and the added pressure of media scrutiny made their relationship even more complex. Although they lived in the public eye, maintaining a perfect image, their relationship was crumbling from within. Unable to cope with the growing conflicts, both began to turn to drugs and alcohol for relief. Initially, it was an escape from stress, but soon these substances became a dangerous part of their lives. The glamorous world of entertainment brought Whitney fame, wealth, and power, but it also pulled her into the dangerous spiral of addiction and self-destruction. Lavish parties and the pressure to maintain her image led her to seek drugs as an escape from her stifling reality. What started as mild substances quickly escalated to stronger illegal drugs like cocaine. Her relationship with Bobbi only deepened Whitney's descent. Although Bobbi denied being the cause of her drug use, the public still blamed him, believing he had a negative influence on her. Whether true or not, their shared addiction created an inescapable cycle that gradually destroyed their family life. They became isolated in their home, immersed in a dark, private world, often leaving their young daughter, Bobbi Kristina, in the care of others. The days spent in addiction turned their home into a place of mystery, where light and joy seemed unable to penetrate. In those moments, Whitney and Bobbi existed in a haze, disconnected from reality and evading all responsibilities. Each passing day saw Whitney sink deeper into addiction, distancing herself from her daughter and neglecting the angelic voice that once enchanted the world. The addiction dulled her talent and shattered the image she had built, pulling her down into physical and emotional decline. Whitney's addiction took a heavy toll on her life and career. The once angelic voice that had captivated millions lost its strength and clarity. Her public appearances revealed a tired, unconfident, and sometimes erratic presence. The public began to notice her decline, both in appearance and performance ability. She was no longer the perfect star she once was. In 2002, a memorable interview with Diane Sawyer marked a turning point in Whitney's descent. When questioned about her drug use, she famously responded, "Crack is whack," asserting that she wouldn't use crack because she made too much money to use something so cheap. Her answer left audiences shocked and saddened, as it revealed Whitney's attempt to hide her struggles behind a calm exterior. The public began to realize that she was no longer herself, struggling with serious issues she preferred not to acknowledge. Signs of her decline grew more evident with each performance. Her voice no longer held its former glory, and her frail, gaunt appearance on magazine covers sparked concern for her health and future. The public watched as a once brilliant star seemed lost, facing the stage lights in a state of exhaustion, and began to doubt whether she could overcome this challenge. In 2006, after 14 turbulent years together, Whitney and Bobbi officially divorced, ending a relationship that had been intense yet painful. The divorce offered Whitney a chance to escape from negativity and open a new chapter in her life. However, as she confronted her past, she realized the deep scars of her struggles and the lasting effects of addiction on both her health and her voice. Determined to reclaim her career and find herself again, Whitney committed to rigorous practice, striving to restore her voice to its former strength and clarity. But the damage wrought by years of substance abuse could not be easily undone, and she had to accept that her legendary voice would never be as flawless as it once was. In 2009, Whitney appeared on Good Morning America, marking her return after years away. This event was not only a milestone in her career, but also a significant effort to prove that she could still captivate audiences. Yet, as she took the stage, the signs of her weakened state were clear. Her voice occasionally trembled and lacked its usual sharpness. The audience noticed, and Whitney understood that despite her efforts, she could no longer recapture her former glory entirely. Even her once pristine image had been irrevocably altered. A tragic farewell. The fateful night at the Beverly Hilton Hotel on February 11, 2012, marked the end of Whitney Houston's life. A woman who once held the hearts of millions worldwide with her pure, powerful, and soulful voice. This occurred just one day before the Grammy Awards, music's biggest night, where Whitney had been an icon and one of the most celebrated artists. She had come to Los Angeles in preparation for the event. In the days leading up to the ceremony, Whitney appeared cheerful but also displayed signs of unease. That night, she attended a party where friends and acquaintances noticed her unusual appearance, tired, with unfocused eyes and a lack of vitality. Some witnesses recounted that she seemed off, mumbling and appearing distracted. Yet for many, this wasn't surprising, as Whitney had experienced many ups and downs and had often shown worrying signs of instability. After the party, Whitney returned to her room at the Beverly Hilton. She had a habit of soaking in the bathtub to relax and unwind after stressful moments. But that night, the bathtub became the setting for Whitney Houston's final tragic moment. While soaking, she lost consciousness. No one was there in time to help her, and when her assistant found her, it was too late. It was a haunting moment. They found Whitney unresponsive, her head submerged in water. Emergency aid was administered quickly, but all efforts were in vain. Whitney couldn't be revived, and her death was pronounced on the spot, leaving her loved ones and fans worldwide in shock. The coroner's report later revealed heartbreaking details about her death. It showed the presence of multiple substances in her body, including cocaine. Additionally, she suffered from heart disease, a dangerous combination with the drugs in her system, which caused her to lose consciousness while in the tub, leading to an unexpected drowning. The following day, as the Grammy Awards took place, the grand stage of the music world fell into a somber silence, missing the voice that had once moved so many hearts. The entire room observed a moment of silence for the woman with a voice of remarkable strength and power. Whitney's death closed a chapter on a life of great highs and profound tragedies. Her illustrious career, extraordinary voice, and the pain and loss she endured created a life that was both beautiful and challenging. Those final lonely moments at the Beverly Hilton remain a haunting reminder of the price of fame and the unrelenting pressures borne by those in the spotlight. 3 years after Whitney's tragic passing, a chillingly similar tragedy struck her only daughter, Bobbi Kristina Brown. On January 31, 2015, Bobbi Kristina was found unconscious, face down in a bathtub at her home. The scene was eerily reminiscent of Whitney's final moments. Many struggled to believe that Bobbi Kristina's life would end in almost the exact manner as her mother's, shocking the public with this heartbreaking coincidence. Like her mother, Bobbi Kristina lived through tumultuous years under the pressures of fame. Whitney's passing had left a deep void in her, drawing her into a whirlpool of pain and isolation. Since her mother's death, Bobbi Kristina faced the spotlight, the pressures of public expectations, and her relentless grief. The shadow of death seemed to linger over her life, leading her down a path with no escape. After Bobbi Kristina was discovered in the bathtub, her family rushed her to the hospital, hoping against hope that the tragedy would not repeat. But Bobbi Kristina never regained consciousness. She remained in a coma for 6 months, her body weakening and breath growing fainter each day. Those close to her clung to the hope of a miracle, but on July 26, 2015, Bobbi Kristina took her last breath, ending her short life at the age of 22. Bobbi Kristina's death sparked waves of grief and anger within her family. They suspected Nick Gordon, the man who had lived with Whitney and later with Bobbi Kristina, might have had a role in this tragedy. Nick, whom Bobbi Kristina had trusted, became the focus of blame. The Brown family believed that he had exploited and harmed her, leading her to this tragic end. In the midst of their heartbreak, they found themselves caught in a storm of accusations and anguish, each family member struggling to cope with a tragedy that felt beyond repair. Bobbi Kristina's life mirrored her mother's, filled with misfortune. From an innocent girl living in her mother's shadow, Bobbi Kristina experienced it all: love, loss, and the pressures of fame, and ultimately faced a heartbreaking end. Their journeys, once radiant, are now but sad memories in the hearts of fans. Their story is a sobering reminder that no matter how bright the lights of fame, there are shadows it cannot erase. Bobby Brown, her father, was not only devastated by the loss, but also tormented by what his daughter had endured. He recalled the pressures of fame and the negative influences that Bobbi Kristina faced living in her mother's spotlight. After Whitney's passing, he tried to protect Bobbi Kristina from the same temptations that had affected her mother, but he admitted that he couldn't shield her from everything, and those closest to her couldn't help her when she needed it most. In the years following, Bobby Brown worked to transform his pain into a drive to make a difference. He founded the Bobbi Kristina Serenity House to support victims of domestic violence, honoring his love for the two most important women in his life, Whitney and Bobbi Kristina. Bobby also engaged in efforts to raise awareness about the dangers of drugs and addiction, especially within the entertainment industry, where temptations are ever present and can easily destroy those who fall into them. The deaths of Whitney and Bobbi Kristina were more than a personal loss for Bobby Brown. They served as a profound lesson on the dark side of fame. Once a rebellious R&B star, Bobby has become a man shaped by tremendous loss, striving to rebuild his life from the ashes of tragedies that no one can fully comprehend. He carries the weight of regret, feeling a deep sense of responsibility for his daughter's fate. This loss has inspired Bobby to shift his life's focus from a once infamous celebrity to an advocate for drug awareness and domestic violence prevention. Whitney and Bobbi Kristina's tragic story invites us to reflect on the fragility of fame and the warmth of an ordinary, loving family. What are your thoughts on Whitney and her daughter's sad ending? Is it the price of fame? And who, if anyone, should bear responsibility for what happened? Whitney Houston's legacy. Though her life was brief, Whitney Houston left behind a monumental musical and cultural legacy. Her illustrious career stands as a testament to her talent, passion, and the profound influence she brought to the world of music. With over 200 million records sold and timeless hits like I Will Always Love You, along with numerous records, Whitney became a legend, not only within the music industry, but as an inspiration for generations of artists who followed. Whitney's legacy extends beyond her musical achievements and lives on in treasured symbols, such as the Mendham Estate in New Jersey, a sanctuary where she sought solace away from the bright lights of fame. Purchased in 1993 during the height of her career, this home became a place of creativity and inspiration for Whitney. The private studio there was where she recorded her final songs, with each corner of the estate holding memories of a woman who dedicated her life to the arts. After Whitney's passing in 2012, the Mendham Estate changed ownership multiple times, no longer retaining its original state. For fans, however, the house holds deep sentimental value, symbolizing the memory of a legend. Renovations and the eventual loss of the recording studio evoke reflections on Whitney's own life, radiant yet marred by pain. Her legacy endures through the timeless music she created, her influence on future artists, and the indelible mark she left on fans worldwide. The sudden passing of Whitney Houston left millions around the world in shock and sorrow. Her death serves as a sobering reminder of the cost of fame and the intense pressures within the entertainment industry. Whitney broke numerous records with her angelic voice and classic hits, becoming an enduring musical icon. Yet her story is also a lesson in mental health and self-awareness, as temptation and pressure gradually eroded her spirit and physical well-being. Whitney's legacy extends far beyond her musical achievements. She stands as a powerful, cautionary symbol of the hidden struggles that can come with fame, reminding us that behind the bright lights, there are challenges that deserve attention, especially regarding mental health. Though she is gone, Whitney's voice and story endure, leaving us with emotional ballads and profound lessons on the importance of valuing life and self-care. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Whitney Houston's life. Through her story, We hope each of us is reminded of the importance of caring for our mental health and staying true to ourselves amid life's pressures. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss other fascinating stories about the legends you love. See you in the next video.